This video was brought to you by us, Slidebean. Make beautiful slide presentations in no time. Get 1 free month by signing up at slidebean.com/YouTube. Jawbone, known at the beginning as AliphCom, first stood out for the quality of its headphones and wireless speakers, and later for its wearables. The willingness to find new market niches to jump into them meant that finding investors was never a problem for this company. That is what the relevant venture capital firms have always invested in. By 2014, the company had raised $900 million and was valued at just over $3 billion. But all that money didn't help it cope with its strongest competitors, including Fitbit, or to deal with its customer service problems. Jawbone's case was listed by CB Insights as the second worst bankruptcy of a VC-supported company in the US. So how did that happen? This is Startup Forensics, Jawbone. Military technology. The British-Lebanese Alexander Asseli and the American son of Pakistani immigrants Hossein Rahman met at Stanford University and decided to create a company called AliphCom in 1999. Their goal was military technology. They focused specifically on developing a device that was capable of canceling noise to make it easier for soldiers in combat to communicate clearly with each other. With this concept, they approached DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency of the United States Department of Defense, and closed the contract in 2002. They created a mobile phone headset called Jawbone, a name that the company would later adopt. This headset had the ability to pretty much erase the background noise that surrounds the user so that whoever is on the other side of the line will only hear the conversation. The headset increased the volume of the voice for both parties, automatically eliminating the need to shout during the dialogue. Soon, the company saw commercial value in this technology and hastened to take it to the market. Sales boomed, and between 2007 and 2008, the company had significant profits. However, Asseli began to have less prominence in the company and returned to London. Hossein Rahman became CEO. Success also came when driving laws allowed the use of hands-free in several US states, so this favored the race for the use of wireless headphones. In June 2007, Aliph announced the arrival of its Jawbone Bluetooth headphones with Noise Shield noise cancellation to 157 Apple stores. The devices would be sold alongside the iPhone for $119. A press release following the announcement said, "The combination of iPhone plus Jawbone will revolutionize mobile communications by allowing customers to really talk, work, and play anywhere." Rahman, the CEO, said they were confident that their customers would discover that the pairing of these products offered the best experience in terms of quality and sophistication. Later came Jawbone 2 and Jawbone Prime in 2009, which CNET called a very modern headset with a perfect fit, which also offered better noise cancellation and better wind noise management than its predecessor. The company gained confidence and decided to explore other products, such as wireless speakers. First came Jambox in 2010, and fortune smiled again at this company because the speaker was one of the best-selling products. In 2011, the Big Jambox arrived, a wireless device. Big Jambox offered 15 hours of use thanks to its 2600 milliamperes battery. It also came equipped with a USB connector through which you could update the software, a jack input, and a button to pair with another device via Bluetooth. However, it meant nothing for the company to arrive before its competitors. As time went on, bigger companies that could produce more and with better prices forced these guys to pivot. They decided to pivot into a consumer technology company, but mainly aimed at monitoring physical activity and health. In 2011, the company, which was still called AliphCom, officially became Jawbone and opted for wearables, physical activity tracking bands, a market that was just beginning to flourish. The arrival of the company in this market category was one of the reasons why it managed to attract abundant venture capital from recognized firms, again, Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, Khosla Ventures, and Kleiner, Perkins, Caufield, and Byers, and even a sovereign fund of investment, that is, investment by an actual state. That was when Jawbone raised $900 million and got that $3 billion valuation. A new bet. After its transformation, the company opted for a new bracelet called Up, which had an elegant and easy-to-wear design. It was also water-resistant and had an accelerometer. What could you do with this device? Well, it was designed to track daily routines, for example, to know how much and how fast users walked, the number of calories burned, as well as the number of hours slept and the sleep quality. The bracelets synchronize data to a mobile app. This was introduced at a price of $99. And here comes trouble. The third generation of physical activity trackers, the dubbed UP3, began bringing problems to the company in 2014. First, it came with a flaw that made Jawbone stay out of the Christmas sales season. Then, they ensured that the device would have a heart rate monitor, which represented a whole innovation in the world of wearables. It was later proven not to work very well. Chris Welch, a reporter from The Verge, tested the bracelet and said, measuring the heart rate during a workout is the key that people expect in a physical activity monitor, and the UP3 simply can't do it. Instead, the company opted to offer the resting heart rate measurement, ensuring that this was a good health indicator. Another inconvenience users noticed was the lack of a screen to display any information, so it was always necessary to synchronize data with a smartphone. Although it was brave to take part in the wearable market, Jawbone failed to take hold, until just 4.4% of the market pie was left to them. In 2015, strong competitors began to appear, including, of course, the Apple Watch. Also, Fitbit was on Jawbone's heels, and before their IPO, the company sued them before the California State Court. As reported by the New York Times in May 2015, Fitbit was accused of systematically looting confidential information by hiring Jawbone employees who incorrectly downloaded sensitive materials shortly before leaving. This case arises from the clandestine efforts of Fitbit to steal talent, trade secrets, and intellectual property of their main competitor. The complaint continued. Layoffs. That same year, Jawbone closed its office in New York City and seized 60 employees in November. The excuse? The same that other companies that are forced to reduce their payroll usually offer: restructuring. A spokesman for the company told The Verge at the time that, as part of our strategy to create a more aligned and successful company, we made the difficult decision to reorganize the company, which had an impact on our global workforce. That was the second cut that Jawbone was forced to make in 2015, because in June of that same year, 20 people were fired. The firm IDC ranked Jawbone as the fifth largest wearable manufacturer, which had again 4.4% of the market for the first quarter of 2015. Fitbit was ranked first, followed by China's Xiaomi, Garmin, and then Samsung. For 2016, while Fitbit sent 22 million devices to its customers, Jawbone sent less than 20% of that. From then on, the problems just continued coming in for the Californian company. There was a financial turmoil, suspension of customer service, and a decrease in inventory, and even the departure of many executives. The company stopped manufacturing and selling its physical activity trackers in 2016, and then sold its remaining inventory to a reseller. Among those problems, probably the most controversial one was suspending customer service. Jawbone stopped offering forums on its website and responding to customer inquiries with defective hardware. You just can't stop supporting your customers, especially if there's a warranty period. Even their social networks remained idle for months, and several publications on sites such as The Verge noticed. Jawbone declined to discuss the issue when confronted. The end. With no other options remaining, in 2017, the CEO of Jawbone decided to liquidate the company and jump ship. But he jumped into another ship, which was Jawbone Health. He brought some of the previous employees with this new company. In May 2019, the idea that Rahman pursued with Jawbone Health seems to remain alive. He intends to use personal devices, artificial intelligence, and other technologies to detect chronic heart problems when they are just starting to develop. But Jawbone, one of the pioneers of wearables, is nothing more than a memory of a startup that died too soon.